And we have two guests also joining us, Pankaj Sharma as well as Deven Choksey, to take us through their own understanding of this big, mighty move. I think Nikunj just used all the adjectives to define the move. So I'll go straight across to both these guests. Pankaj, start off with you. Is this the rally that everybody's been waiting for to get Reliance moving beyond 1200?
I think that's a good explanation of what has happened in last 4 hours today. But I really don't think that it's going to sustain because it's a kind of relief rally. People are expecting that you don't know that what happens after 31st March in terms of revenue and profitability for the telecom venture for Reliance. But at least there is some hope now that this is going to get stopped. But whether it is going to sustain a 10% plus kind of outperformance from this stock in a matter of hours, I have my doubts because number one, you really are not very sure in terms of how the company would react in case there is a different outcome from the market. So something is free and then something becomes chargeable. The mindset of consumers change very, very quickly, number one. Number two, still there are larger questions which remain on the capital allocation decision for Reliance Industries. As such, we have seen in last at least 10 years that a lot of times the investment has been made, but the commensurate returns have not come through. So I'm not blaming the company. You have to take your chances when you are generating so much cash. You have to find areas which are diversified and you can make money there, but not always it works. So I really don't think that this is going to sustain at these outperformance levels which we are seeing currently.
Pankaj, just to counter that, and this is just my personal thought, which is that, Pankaj, markets will always react to available information, and the available information on Jio pre-yesterday's press meet was that Jio will be a drag. The telecom venture will impact the profitability of the aggregate picture for Reliance Industries, and the ARPUs will not be very strong. In fact, nobody expected Reliance to come out and really indicate that not only they managed to reach the numbers much ahead of the analyst curve, analyst expectations, they are also adding a substantial, they're also churning out a substantial business for them in terms of an ARPU. So I think that's a surprise factor which is also driving markets higher. But Deven Choksey, there is a surprise factor and there is a technical factor. How much of the market rally, Deven, do you think today is a function of technical factors and not a surprise factor?
Yeah, Nikunj. Well, obviously, I think if you recall in the last week when I was on your show, I think I ended up saying that Reliance is traded in neglected valuation. When I say neglected valuations, I think in the back of the mind, I think apart from fundamental valuations which are going cheap, I was aware about the fact that I think the stock is very badly suppressed in the market. I think so today's rally, which has come after the clarification coming in as the revenue model, which promises to produce a revenue in a full year of around 60,000 crores if you extrapolate numbers properly, and a profit in range of around 24 to 28,000 crores at the EBITDA level, which is half of the size of Reliance's profit currently. I think the market is justified in basically, I think, losing the grip on the spring, and the bounce is taking place, the spring bounce as we want to call it. Maybe I think it's a pull up, maybe it is a technical bounce, I think maybe it is led by some amount of short covering led buying. It may pull off, but at the same time, it cannot take away the kind of a larger picture, which says that the Reliance Jio itself, I think, is basically 550 to 600 rupees kind of a valuation stock in the portfolio. So I would rather think that this kind of valuation unlocking would take place eventually, and that could drive the stock price up to 1600 to 1800 range over the next 9 to 12 months or 15 months time.
I really do a double take when you see that chart, with that solid intraday movement. But Deven Choksey is pretty positive on the stock, talking about levels of 1500 as well in the long haul. Pankaj, I just want to, understand what really the outlook is for RelJio, because a lot of experts that we've been speaking with said the move that RelJio has taken yesterday was a very intelligent move. But I think a crucial factor is also going to be how they're going to now manage the transition to paid usage without seeing a sharp drop-off in their subscriber base. Would that also be a crucial point to monitor from RelJio's perspective?
Yeah, I think very much because, as I said, like psychologically speaking, for any consumer to shift from free or you don't have to pay anything kind of model to a paid model is going to be a very crucial evaluation, because so far you have seen that a lot of non-serious consumers who just wanted another SIM because they knew that they don't have to pay anything for this service, they were subscribing to it and they were the consumers officially. But when you have to actually become a paid consumer, it changes the dynamics completely, because then you start evaluating the service and you start evaluating the value which you are deriving from what you are paying. So I believe that there's going to be a very, very critical thing. So post 31st March, let's say if we see a 3 months period, I think that is going to be very, very crucial to evaluate whether customers are sticking to Reliance Jio and they are willing to pay for the service which Reliance Jio is providing for a price. And that's something that's going to be very, very crucial.
Really get that. My simple question, the reason why we are highlighting the Reliance story today is just like in the previous bull market, Reliance is pretty much at the helm of taking the market to record highs once again, and that is after a period of 8 years. I mean, traditionally it's really banks. So that's why this move is a bit different. And also for viewers tuning in, for many people looking at this 10% move would be like, should we buy Reliance right now? Is it finally going to break past 1200 and, generate the kind of returns that investors have been waiting out for? Over the last 8-year period, Reliance has given what, 7% odd returns to investors. So Pankaj, do you purely from a technical perspective, I know there are numbers floating around, and the market is still divided between believers and non-believers when it comes to the Reliance story and how they, what kind of strategy they use to further the Jio growth. But purely from a technical standpoint, is this news enough to take it past 1200, to take it past the catch-up rally that we are seeing right now?
I'm negative on that, because I think that it's going to be very, very difficult, because it's a space which is still seeing a lot of competitive intensity and is not going to be helped that much to the stock per se. So I have my doubts in terms of how much it can sustain and how further it will go. But as such, in one line answer, I would think that this is a move which is, of course, a relief rally, and that's something which is a very good thing in a short-term basis. But whether it can be sustained and whether I am expecting Reliance to go past 1500 in a 9 to 12 months period, I really don't think so.
All right, Pankaj as well as Deven, thanks very much for joining us and giving us that perspective. Reliance Industries is the stock of the day.